Namaskar. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat krapatamaham vande paramanand madhava. This is a prayer where Bhagwan says, Bhagwan, I pray to you for your kripa. Yat kripa tamaham vande. I pray to you for your kripa. Who are you? You who is Paramanand, the ultimate Anand. Hey Madhav. Madhav means Mayapati. Hey Madhav, Maya functions under your command according to your wishes. O Madhav, the Almighty Parmeshwar, with your kripa, the mute can speak and the one with no legs can climb the mountain. Such is your kripa. So I pray to you for your kripa. It was your kripa that you manifested yourself for Arjun and became his charioteer in the Mahabharata. Having overcome with grief and feeling dejected, Arjun asked for your help as your disciple. It was then that you pointed to him towards Karma Yoga, the ultimate tool which we mortals can use to become free of all bondages forever. Now we need to look at bondage and moksha. The total freedom from all bondages forever, not for some time, just forever, is what moksha is. There are 4 separate entities in existence. These are all 4 are anadi. They have no beginning. They are Jeev, Devata, Prapanch, and Parameshwar. Now Devata are Trigunatmak. Trigunatmak means that they cannot exist and operate outside of 3 gunas. That is their Atma. They cannot exist without it. These devatas are also avidyatmak. They are avidyatmak, so the avidya is their Atma too. And they are not eligible for Gyan. Because that's what they are, the avidyatmak. They cannot get Gyan. Thus, they are always in bondage. Now comes Jeev. Jeev is situated within Devata in Trigun. But in the original form, Jeev is Nirgun. And after getting Gyan from the Ishwar, when Jeev follows the Karma Yoga, he becomes similar to Ishwar and be one with him. This is the crux of Gita Gyan. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita starts with chapter entitled Arjun Vishad Yog, grief of Arjun. So we take the first shlok in which Dhritarashtra says to Sanjay, Dharam kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha Mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim kurvat Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra says to Sanjay, assembled in Kurukshetra, the land of Dharma. Kurukshetra was the land of Dharma. There are a lot of yajna have been taken place in Kurukshetra. So, any place where we do worship regularly becomes a place of dharma. So if the worship is done for Ishwar, it is the place, is the dharam kshetra for Ishwar bhakti. Some people do for devatas, so that is devata kshetra. The land of dharma with the desire to fight, these have assembled there. What did my people, Mamaka, my people, and Pandavas and Pandav sons of Pandu do? They are assembled there. What are they doing? What have they done? Knowing fully well that the two parties assembled in Kurukshetra to fight the war. He knows that. Still he is asking the question. Why did Dhritarashtra ask the question? This looks like a straightforward question. However, it is not as simple as it may look. Although Vyas did label this chapter as a grief of Arjun, it clearly starts with the worry of Dhritarashtra. He is worried. So who is Dhritarashtra? He was a blind prince who did not qualify to become the king of Hastinapur. Him being the eldest of the three brothers, he badly wanted to be the king of the Kuru dynasty. However, Pandu, the second child, was declared the king. Upon the untimely death of Pandu, Dhritarashtra Dhritarashtra became the keeper of the kingdom till the eldest son of Pandu, who was Yudhishthira, became eligible to rule the kingdom. He liked it so much, being king, that he did not want to relinquish the kingdom. He wanted to remain the king. So what he did, he started to persuade sons of Pandu, and in the process twice exiled them to spend time in jungle, to live in the company of hermits. This was done after Pandava had lost twice in the game, in a gamble game, which was rigged by Shakuni in favor of Duryodhan, the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, who was representing his father in the games. The name Dhritarashtra means the one who steals the kingdom from under the rightful owner of the kingdom and hangs on to it by any means. Doesn't want to give up. The plan of Dhritarashtra was to alter the thinking of Pandavas to be like that of hermits and sadhus instead of being a king. During the second exile, Dhritarashtra sent Sanjay to explain to Pandav that they are the people of Dharma. They should not fight the war. They should let Duryodhan rule. And in Mahabharata, if you look into the Sanjay Parv, you will find what all things. When Sanjay went to see Pandavas, what all he told. He very bluntly says to Arjun and all the Pandavas, you should not be fighting. You are people of Dharma. See? So they are trying to brainwash. And you will see this is what the grief of Arjun became later on in this chapter. Because these things Arjun heard, and you will see it. The plan of Dhritarashtra was to alter the thinking, so they will not fight. So by asking the question, what my people and sons of Pandu are doing, Dhritarashtra wanted to find out if his trick was successful. Did they give up fighting, or what are they doing? Secondly, he wanted to know if Pandavas were influenced by the powers of the land of Dharma, because Dharamkshetra, Kurukshetra was a Dharamkshetra. So the dharmic people will be affected, the Dharamkshetra will influence them. There is also an effect of the place, as at some places we get good vibes, other places the reverse is true. In Kurukshetra, a king named Kuru has performed many yagnas, which made the land Dharamkshetra. because yajna was the dharma of that era. If you did 100 yajna, then you can go to Swarga, and that was the dharma in the Dwapar. If one dies in war at this land, they will go to Swarga, similar to the ones who perform tap, yajna there. This was one of the reasons why the war was fought here. The other reason lies in the story in Mahabharata, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna knew that it would be difficult to get Yudhishthira to agree to the war. Him being Dharam, son of Dharma. So he was looking for a place which will influence Yudhishthira, Dharamraj, to agree to fight the war. Bhagavan took Yudhishthira to several places. But when they arrived at Kurukshetra and they got off the chariot, Yudhishthira went after the crown of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Thus Bhagavan concluded this is to be the right place for fighting the war. Thus the main point of Dhritarashtra was to see if the battlefield had any influence. Some have also said that when two people fight, there are curious spectators who want to know what is going on there. And this is very true. Any kind of fight, people are curious. What happened there? You know? Did you hear something? What happened? Always curious about other people's fight rather than looking at themselves. That's the nature of people. Thus a spectator, he asks the questions. Some people think maybe he is just a spectator, so he is asking a question. Then there are those who do not believe that there was any Mahabharata. We also have people like that. Even then, in the human mind, there are forces working to make one do good, which is called Sat, as well as forces which will pull them towards evil or Asat. This battle goes on in the human mind. To find out what is the right thing to do, one needs Gyan. Without Gyan, you don't know. Jnani is also called Hans. And higher Jnani is called Paramhans. One of the qualities of Hans which is described in the scripture is Hans is the one which takes Neer, Kshir, Vivek, which can separate milk and water from milk. It's just a saying. That means Sat, take out the Sat and leave the Asat alone. What is good, takes that. Evil, he leaves it alone. He doesn't mess with it. So that's Jnani. For this, Kabir also said, Sadhu aisa chahiye jaisa soup sohaye. Sar sar ko grah liye chthota det udaye. The one who is sadhu, who is Jnani, is a person who is like a soup winnowing tool, where he just takes the grain out and let the husk fly away. He doesn't care for it. And to get Gyan, that is why we pray. Oh God, take me from the darkness into light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Darkness is Tham. Tham means Agyan. Gyan is Prakash, is light. So when there is light, there is no darkness. So even if one does not accept Mahabharata, the Gyan in Gita helps one to transform one's mind, which is the field of action, Kurukshetra, into the field of Dharma, and makes into Dharamkshetra. Thus we can see the many explanations of this question of Dhritarashtra. Those bound by their desires hope to win even though they see their imminent destruction. and therefore asked the question, let us see how Sanjay. That's why they asked this question, what they are doing. So let us see how Sanjay replies the king. Sanjay says, Drashtva tu Pandava anikam vyuham Duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam bravit. Answering the question of Dhritarashtra, Sanjay says, and then having seen the battle formation of Pandava's army, King Duryodhan approached Acharya, Dronacharya, and said these words to him. Here Sanjay is addressing Duryodhan as the king, Raja. Since he had declared himself the king, even though the king was his father, but he declared himself as a king. Also, others in his team, in order to please him, address him as a king. Here Duryodhan goes to Dronacharya and not to Bhishma, who was the commander of the army. He goes to Dronacharya. He did this because he had no leverage on Bhishma. And he did as he did with Dronacharya. He had a lot of leverage on Dronacharya. Dronacharya was employee of the kingdom. Bhishma, on the other hand, was a king in his own right. And Duryodhan did not trust Bhishma. Both Bhishma and Dronacharya knew that Pandava were the rightful owner of the kingdom, but both were in bondage. Bhishma was tied to the throne, although Arjun was his favorite disciple. Duryodhan knew that Dronacharya, who needed money, will not go to Pandava. He will fight for them. Since they had no kingdom and money, Pandava had no kingdom, they have no money, nothing. Money used to play a big role then, even bigger today. That is why Duryodhan approached Acharya and said these words in a taunting way. What did Duryodhan say to Dronacharya? Pashyetam Pandava putranam Acharya mahati chamum vyudha drupada putrena tava shishyena dhimata. Behold, O Acharya, this formation of mighty army of sons of Pandu, arranged and headed by your talented disciple, Drushtadhyumna, the son of Drupad. He was also taught by Dronacharya. So he is taunting them. See, he is out there fighting against you. Here Duryodhan has labeled the army of son of Pandu as mighty one. And he is taunting Dronacharya that you have trained all these people in conducting the war. And see, now they are ready to kill you. Pandava, although had no kingdom, have put together a large fighting force. In Bharat at that time, the size of fighting force was 18 Akshohani total. An Akshohani is a combination of 21,870 elephants, 21,870 chariots, 65,610 horses, and 109,350 foot soldiers. That was one Akshohani. The size of Pandava army in Kurukshetra was 7 times that, 7 Akshohani. Whereas that of Duryodhan was 11 times of that, 11 Akshohani. So a much larger army he had. Yet, he is calling Pandava's army as the mighty one. He is telling Acharya Dronacharya, look at the mighty army of Pandava. This was because he was fearful of the following reasons. Why was he fearful? The army of Kaurava was arrayed by Bhishma. Bhishma has created the foundation and the formation of the army, whereas that of Pandava was by the son of Drupad, Dhritarashtra. Once Dronachar defeated Drupad, at the time Drupad did a yagna for a son who will kill his enemy. That was the purpose of the yagna. By this was born Dhritarashtra, who was taught the art of warfare by Dronacharya. Here Duryodhan is reminding Acharya that your disciple, who was born to kill you, because he was born with the yagna, has arrayed the army of Pandava in the form of a patatri, a bird. And you are the only one who can pierce through this formation. View. They call view. Formation is view. Duryodhan also knew that Bhishma favored Pandav. Therefore, Duryodhan went to Acharya, Dronacharya, to remind him. Having said this, Duryodhan now points to the great warriors in Pandava army by name. So this is just a description of the armed forces of both sides. Duryodhan says that Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjun Samayudhi Yudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha Dashtaketu Chaketi Chan Keshirajascha Viryavan Purjit Kunti Bhojascha Shavyascha Narapurngava Yudhamanyuscha Vikrantam Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saubhadro Dropadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharatha. Having asked Acharya to look at the army of Pandava, Duryodhan points to the principal warriors of that army. He says that in this army there are mighty archers and warriors as great as Bhim and Arjun who stand ready to fight. They include Satyaki, Virat, Drupad, who learned the warfare together with you from Parashuram. Drupad was Shishya of Parashuram, a disciple of Parashuram. And so was Dronacharya. The valiant Drashtaketu, Chekitan, the wise one who takes action after much thought. Word Chekitan come from Chikitsa. Chikitsa means to operate on something. And before operating on something, a person has to take very careful consideration of what is wrong. And he has to be very careful when he is operating. So Chekitan was the person who was very, very thoughtful before he took any action. Not just abruptly take any action. He was careful. And the king of Kashi, Purujit, King Kuntibhoj, and best of men, Shabya, the son of king of Shiva, the powerful Yudhamanyu, the powerful Uttamauja, and son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu, the one who takes pride in himself. Abhimanyu means the one who takes pride in himself. And the son of Draupadi, who took birth to be killed in place of 5 Pandava. That was the purpose for their being born. All of whom are Maharathis. They are not ordinary fighters, they are Maharathis. A Maharathi is one who is well-rounded in science of warfare and commands 11,000 bowmen. The 11,000 bowmen is under Maharathi. Having narrated the warriors of the army of Pandava, Duryodhan now describes those fighting on his behalf. He says, Asmakam tu vishishtaye tannibodha dujottama nayaka mama sainyasya sangyartha tan brahmitite. O best of twice born. Twice born means Dvij. Dronacharya was a Brahman. So he was a Dvij. Born again, people say here. Now for your information, I release to you those distinguished commanders of the army on our side. Duryodhan names the commanders of army of Kaurava, and these are, among these, first one is you, Acharya Drona, Bhishma. See here again, he says, first is Drona. Bhishma, Karna, the victorious in the war, and Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta, Bhurishrava, are also among them. At this time, the commander was Bhishma, Pitama Bhishma. Duryodhan named Acharya first, and Bhishma second, in the second place. He did not have any faith in Bhishma Pitama. Anye cha bahava shurya madarthe tyakta jivata nana shastra harana sarve yuddha visharada. He says Duryodhan has named the other fighting ones on his side to point out to Acharya that he is in the wrong. If Duryodhan is fighting from the wrong side, if he is in the wrong to fight this war, then why all these brave people, skilled warriors, having many weapons and missiles, are ready to give their lives on my behalf? So he's saying, if you think that I am wrong fighting this war, then why all these people are here fighting for me? And they are even ready to give their lives. So I must be right. However, the fact was that all these warriors, with exception to Bhishma, were dependent and owed to Duryodhan. That's why they were fighting on his behalf. Ashwatthama, Karna, Bhurishrava, which was Jayadrath, all these were dependent on the kingdom. When one becomes dependent on money, he loses his dharma. That's what the truth is. In the army of Duryodhan, the loyalty of all except Bhishma was bought. On the other hand, those who came to fight on behalf of Pandava were there to fight for dharma. That's a big difference. They made Kurukshetra the land of dharma. Bhishma was one of the 8 Vasus, the deity Vasu, and he had to fight on side opposed to dharma. He had no choice. He had to fight on the side of Duryodhan, which is not the side of dharma, against dharma, which bothered him from time to time. Duryodhan was pointing out to Bhishma and Dronacharya, which they both are experienced warriors. They both are very experienced warriors. But in their heart they favor Pandava. He knew that. Duryodhan had complete confidence on Karna. Of course, Karna was also bought by him. But he could not remove the 2 older people from the war and put Karna as in charge of the war, of his army. He was confident that those old ones will be killed soon, and then he will put Karna in charge of his army, Senapati. Although Duryodhan had a large army, he compares the two armies in the following manner. See, Duryodhan had 11 Akshohani and Pandav only had 7 Akshohani. So he says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirikshatam paryaptam tudameta tesham balam bhima bhirikshatam. Duryodhan says that his army, 11 Akshohani in size, led by Bhishma, is unlimited. It's very big. But compared to the army defended by Bhim, not Bhishma, Bhim, which is limited in size, it's only very small army, his army is inadequate while theirs is adequate. That's what he's saying. Why does he say that when Bhishma had the boon that he will die only by his will? He cannot die. Nobody can kill him unless he wants to die. Why would he say that? Duryodhan had 2 reasons. First, Bhim used to beat Bhim used to beat up Duryodhan when they were children. And Bhim had taken vow. After Draupadi was thrown, Bhim has taken vow to break his thigh, which put a fear in Duryodhan. Secondly, he was afraid that mentally Bhishma could not be on the other side. He could also be on the other side, means the side of Pandav. He may fight, physically he may be there, but mentally he is thinking about Pandav. Bhim, on the other hand, was focused on killing Duryodhan. He was really focused on that. That was his goal. Thus he says that the army of Pandava, although smaller, is adequate. They are focused. Thus, recognizing the inadequacy of his army, Duryodhan says to Acharya, Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam vastita bhishma meva bhirakshantu bhavantah sarva evahi. He says, therefore, in the battlefield, at whichever point we can be attacked by the enemy, I want all of our army divisions being stationed in their respective positions to protect Bhishma from all sides. So there is no chance him going over to the other side. He is not protecting. He wants to make sure that Bhishma stays there. Duryodhan did not fully trust Bhishma. Therefore, he is asking that Bhishma be protected from all sides. He was afraid that Bhishma switch side, the war will be lost. If he switches sides, they will lose the war. The one who fears is the one who does not possess faith. Shraddha. People who have no Shraddha, they are always afraid. They are full of fear. A person feels and is protected by his faith and trust. How a person feels and because of his trust, his faith. Faith protects. Here Duryodhan was greedy towards the kingdom, and a greedy person does not trust anyone. The one who is engulfed with the greed, nobody is friend, he don't trust anybody. On the other hand, Pandava trusted Bhim because he was also fighting for his right. Whereas Duryodhan was trying to get the kingdom unjustly by force. So there's big difference. Bhim was fighting for his right, for whatever was rightfully theirs. And Duryodhan was trying to get the kingdom which really wasn't theirs, and doing this unjustly by force. That is why Duryodhan was afraid. Having big army, even then he was afraid. Another point here is that one who has possessions of the kingdom has something to lose in the war. And he fights to keep it. Whereas the one who has nothing had no fear, nothing to lose. He puts everything on in the fight, which doubles his power. See? Person who has something to lose is afraid to lose it. Oh, maybe I lose it, maybe I win, maybe this will happen, maybe that will happen. The person who doesn't have it, he's not afraid. So in the same token, the people who are like sadhu sannyasis, they have nothing to lose, right? So they are not afraid. They live in the jungles, they do whatever they need to do, and they have no fear. Who has most fear? People who have so many possessions, and they are all afraid to lose them. So they buy insurance for this, they buy bodyguard, God knows what all they do. You see? But so person has to become, this is what Gita teaches us. You have everything, but it's not yours. Think differently. Change your thinking. And then you have power. But as long as you are attached to what you got, you are afraid to lose it, you are lost already. The fear, a person who has fear has already lost. This is what happened to Hindus in India. They thought what anybody would take from them. Those who came from outside, they came with force and took many Hindus and converted them to their faith. Even today Hindus are one, but they are not united. This is how Kaurava, who were 100 brothers, were defeated by only 5 Pandavas. They were like outsiders who came in and won the war. Seeing a worried Duryodhan, what did Bhishma do? This was all taking toll on Duryodhan, and Bhishma saw that he is really worried. So what did Bhishma do? Tasya sanjanya harsham kurvadha pitamaha singhanadam vinodoscha shankadagmo pratapavan. Having heard Duryodhan talking to Acharya, the powerful elder of Kuru, the grandsire Bhishma sensed the fear on Duryodhan. He knew there was something wrong, and took pity, and hence to cheer him sounded a loud lion's roar, the hallmark, and blew his conch. When that happened, thus Bhishma declared war. See, that's how the wars were declared. So he was the first one to sound his conch. They thus became the aggressor. The one who declares the war first is the aggressor. Other party is defender now. Tata shankascha bhairascha panavan nakamukgo mukha sa sabhav hayantan sa shabdastu mulo bhavat. He says, then following Bhishma, quite suddenly, conchs, kettles, drums, tabors, trumpets, cow horns blared forth from Kaurava side. The noise was tumultuous. Once Bhishma blew his conch, everybody took on to the war. Let's get ready to. Tatah shweterya yukte maha Spandane sthito madhavah pandavaschaiva divyo shankho pradatmatu. Then, what happens? Situated in their magnificent chariot, yoked with white horses, Madhav, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and Pandav, Arjun, blew their divine conchs, which made a furious noise. One thing is to be noted is that Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Arjun are described as situated together on the chariot. This signifies Arjun as Jeev engaged in his karma, and Madhav, the one witnessing the action which were taking place there. And they are both together. The one witnessing was no other than the one under whose control Maya, the divine power of God, acts. That was Parameshwar. Arjun is the one who is in this world acts in a straightforward manner. The meaning of Arjun is the one who he attacks straight. He doesn't waver. He is what you see. Nothing shady about him. It comes from word Riju. That is why he took the support of Dharma. Otherwise, see, the other side was not. So they started conniving things, different things. They sent Sanjay to brainwash people, Pandav, and all those tricks they use. Thus, following the war declaration by Bhishma, Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Arjun sounded their divine conchs. Now the action of Arjun became defensive in nature, and he had the support of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Here we can learn that we humans should defend ourselves from whatever nature hands us. Defend ourselves and not be aggressor. To defend ourselves, we should take the help of Parameshwar alone and nobody else, because nobody else can help. Because the other hand being dealt by Prakriti, Maya, and Ishwar is Madhav, Mayapati. He controls Maya. So if you take his refuge in him, you can defend yourself from all the hands that Maya or the Prakriti deals with it to you. Whatever problem happens. This is Karma Yoga. Sanjay now describes the name of conchs used by Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Arjun and Bhim. See, before he did not describe the names. Here now he's going to describe the names. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Pandram Dadmo Mahashankham Bhim Karma Vrakodara. He says, here Bhagavan Sri Krishna had been addressed as Lord of Senses. Rishikesh. Rishik, Ish. Rishik means senses. Ish means master. In Vedas there are two words, Arya and Das. The British interpreted these as master and slave. They said the Aryans who invaded and conquered became the master, and the conquered ones became the slave. Later on, they were classified as Shudra. That's how British described. In Vedas, however, the Arya was used for the master of their senses, not master of people. Arya is the one who controls his senses. And Das for those who is slave to them. Okay? Slave to the nature, one's nature, senses. This is very true. There's a lot of Das now than Arya anymore in this world. Thus Bhagavan has been addressed as Rishikesh here. Rishikesh. The conch blown by Bhagavan Sri Krishna was Panchajanya. This conch was recovered from upon churning the ocean, Kshir Sagar, and was given to Lord Vishnu. Yes, described in Bhagavad Puran. Bhagavan, who took on the four-armed form of Lord Vishnu in the incarnation, thus he had the conch with divine powers, because he appeared as Chaturbhuj, four-armed. Bhagavan Krishna, that's how he was. So that is the form of Vishnu. So Vishnu had that conch. So he had that conch. Dhananjay, which is for Arjun, blew the conch named Devdatta. Dhananjay is the one who brings in a lot of dhan. So, if you read in Mahabharata, I was reading today, it says that Dhritarashtra says that Arjun has brought in so much wealth to our kingdom. You see, he defeated all the kings around, and he brought, when a king is defeated, all the king's wealth come to the kingdom which won. So there are so much wealth which was really brought in by Pandav in the kingdom. Dhritarashtra wanted to keep it all for himself, did not want to share with Pandav. So that was the problem. He didn't want them to be taking part in the kingdom. So Dhananjay blew his conch named Devdatta, and Bhim had a large conch called Pandra, which conchs were blown by the other Pandava is described in the next shloka. Other Pandava also blew their own conchs. Shank. Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Manipushpako Kashyascha Parmeshwasa Shikhandi cha Maharatha Drishtadumnyo Viratascha Satyakischa Parajita Drupado Draupadayascha Sarvasha Prithvi Prate Saubhadrascha Mahabaho Shankhandadma Prathak Prathak. He says that son of Kunti, King Yudhishthira, blew the conch named Anant Vijaya. And Nakul and Sahadev blew their respective conchs named Sughosh and Manupushpaka. Now Sanjay says that the other great warriors on the side of Pandav then blew their conchs, their shank. O King, Lord of Earth, expert bowman, the King of Kashi, his son, great warrior, Shikhandi, Drashtadumna, Virat, Satyaki, King Drupad, the 5 sons of Draupadi, Abhimanyu, all of them blew their own respective shank, conch. In these shlokas, mention has been made of the name of conch of only Bhagavan Sri Krishna and 5 Pandava. Others were just said they blew their conch. Because these conch, these 5 Pandava and Bhagavan Sri Krishna, they were given to them by different deities, devatas. They were divine conchs. Saghosho Dhritarashtranam Hridayani Vyadarayat Nabhascha Prithvim Chaiva Tumalo Vyanunadayan. And the tumultuous noise, when these conchs are very hard to blow. Have you tried to blow any conch? It's very difficult to do. And these people had their different conchs. They took a lot more power to blow those things. And the noise coming out of there was really very furious, tumultuous noise. So when everybody is blowing their gong, the whole battlefield was full of this noise. These noise resounding through the sky and earth also ripped the hearts of party of Dhritarashtra. The Kaurava army, they were all shaken up. There are many hints in Shlok 14 to 19 so far regarding the superiority of the army of Pandav and assured defeat of Dhritarashtra. Note the manner in which chariots, horses and conchs of Pandav are described. And although the army of Kaurava was much larger than that of Pandav, the noise from Kaurava side was tumultuous, but from the side of Pandav was not only tumultuous, but it reverberated through the heart, through the earth and the sky, and ripped through the hearts of Kaurava. So this much, much louder, more powerful. Sanjay also describes the challenge of Bhishma as the Lord of Fortune and of Pandava as the best of Pandu princes. He's saying Bhishma, the Lord of Fortune, which is, why would we call Lord of Fortune? Vasu, he was one of the Vasu. Vasu, that's what the name Vasundhara come from. Vasu means lot of gems and stuff like that, jewels. So he was Lord of Fortune. And the Pandav is the best of Pandu princes. Ati vyavasthan drashtra dhartarashtan kapidhvaja pravatte shastra sampate dhanurudhyam pandava rishikesha tada vakyam idamaha mahipate. Then Arjun says, Seniyur madhye ratham sthap mechyuta. O king, seeing the army of the sons of Dhritarashtra declared war, standing ready, and when the war was about to begin and the missiles were about to be launched, the Pandav, whose sign was the monkey sign, Kapidhvaja, his flag had Kapi, monkey on his dhwaj, raising his bow, he raised his bow, said the following words to Achyut. See, here he is using the word Achyut for Krishna. What did Arjun say? O Achyut, place my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those who stand here prepared to fight in the war. He wanted to see everybody. Now, why he wanted to see everybody? He had Gandiv, which was given by Shiv. And he was told that Gandiv will kill everybody except 5 of you, Pandav. So he knew that once the war starts and he start to use Gandiv, none of them will remain. So he wanted to see for the last time who these people are fighting. And it did have effect on him, which we will see later on. So he says, and keep my chariot in place while I can get the good look at, and you scrutinize these warriors who stand here prepared for the war. On this eve of battlefield, let me know with whom the battle is to be fought. At this point, a sudden change of feeling appears to have come over Arjun. Why would he want to go and see he knew everybody who was fighting, but he wanted to see. He wanted to be placed in the middle and look who is fighting whom. He had certain feeling overcome him. And he continues to say, Yotsmananave ksheham yae tatra samagata Dhritarashtrasya durbuddher yuddhe priyachakirtasha. He says that, for I wish to observe these kings who have assembled in this battlefield with the object to fight. These well-wishers who are wishing to please an evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra by taking his side. Here Arjun's pride is showing. He considered himself to be the best warrior, and he had Gandiv, the bow given to him by Shiva. Shiva had told Arjun that Gandiv will protect the 5 Pandavas. Unlike other armaments, Gandiv had its own power. It had the power of Shiva. Arjun had told Duryodhan about Gandiv several times, but Duryodhan ignored the warning. Here the pride of Arjun is saying that Duryodhan is evil-minded. When he says Duryodhan is evil-minded, he's showing him to be superior. But the ones who have assembled to fight on his behalf are no different either. The one who you are known by the company you keep, right? So if you are on the side of evil, you must have some evil in you. So Arjun says that he wants to see them before killing them in the war for the last time. So now Sanjay says, Eva mukto rishikesho gudakeshena bharata seniyor ubyor madhye sthapit yatvarathotamam Bhishma Drona Pramukta Sarvesham Cha Mahikshatam Uvache Partha Pashyetan Samvetan Kuruniti. O Bharat, Sanjay is addressing Bharat means Dhritarashtra, king of Bharat. O Bharat, in this way, at the command of Gudakesh, this is another name for Arjun, Gudakesh, he had control over his sleep. Rishikesh means Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who is master of his senses, stationed the best of chariots between the 2 armies facing Bhishma and Drona, right in the eye. And all the rulers of the earth, and then said thus, behold, look at all the Kaurava gathered here together. So he says, then what did the son of Pratha, Arjun, so he had different names of Arjun being used here. At different times they are using, different situation they are using different name. One time they use Dhananjaya, Kapidhwaj. What else? Gudakesh. Parth. Now they are using Parth. These are all synonyms. Because now what they are going to be doing, they are looking at the kinship here. So they bring mother into play. Pratha, son of Pratha, Parth. See, stationed between the 2 armies. What did son of Pratha said? There in both these armies, now the fun starts. Both these armies who were the people ready to fight? They included, who they included? His uncles, his grandfathers, teachers, brothers, cousins, his own and their sons, grandsons, father-in-law, comrades, and other well-meaning friends also. That's what he saw. Tan samiksha sakonteya sarvanabandhu navistatan krapaya paryavishto vishidanta mabravit. Having seen all these kinsmen stationed for war, he, the son of Kunti, filled with deep compassion, thus spoke with sorrow. And then what did he say? Arjuna, watch. Arjun says, Drashtavemam swajanam Krishna yuyutsam samupasthitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishustati vepas tushcha sharire me roma harshasya jayate. He says, he's talking to Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna. He says, O Krishna, seeing these kinsmen present here desirous to fight, my limbs are failing. My mouth is drying up, and I am so full of sorrow that my body is shivering, and I am having horripilations. What else is happening? He says, Gandivam strasate hastan tukachaiva paridaharte nacha shastro bhyatat vasthatum brahmativa chame manah. Says that, Arjun says, the Gandiv of which I am so proud of is slipping from my hands. I can't hang on to it. My skin and flesh is burning. My mind appears confused. My legs are shaking and unable to stand. I do not understand what to do. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. And Keshav, in the battle I am seeing many adverse omens, and nor I see any good in killing our own people. Until now, in all other wars, he did not hesitate killing others. Arjun fought a lot of wars. He used to cut their heads off, no problem. However, when he saw his own people in war, he became perplexed and did not know what to do. But interestingly enough, people fight with themselves, within them, their own family. That's when most of the fights occur, people they know. In Kaurava, here Arjun sees his own people. See here the difference. Watch. Listen to this. Arjun sees his own people in Kaurava. But note in the first slok what Dhritarashtra said. He said, Mamaka Pandavaschayo. He said, my people and the sons of Pandu. He created a division. But here Arjun, what is saying? He's seeing his own people in Kaurava. But Arjun, considering them his own, says to Krishna, Na kankshe vijayam Krishna, na cha rajyam sukhani cha, kino rajyena govinda, kim bhogerj viteniva. Arjun says, O Krishna, I do not have desire for victory in this war, nor do I have desire for the empire and its pleasures. O Govind, Such kingdom and all its pleasures are for the what purpose? What would I get when I killed everybody? Here Arjun addresses Bhagavan Sri Krishna as Govind, the master of and knower of senses, since all the pleasures of kingdom are those related to sense gratification. So he is using name Govind. Yeshamarthe kangshitam no rajyam sukhani cha taimeva stita yuddhe pranastatva dhanavnicha. Of what use the empire is to us, for whose sake it is desired, that empire. Enjoyment and pleasures should be ours. They themselves are stationed here for battle, having renounced wealth and hope to live. See, he says that if I kill all of these people and I win and get the kingdom, there will be nobody for me to show to that, see what I got. They will be all dead. Why Arjun is talking this way? He was ready to fight. He didn't hesitate killing any other king before. Now all of a sudden change. This is what grief of Arjun. That's why it's called, this chapter called Grief Arjun. Here we must understand that whatever humans they do for their friends and relatives, if one has no friends or relative, whatever humans do, they do to show their friends and relatives. If they had no, a child will say, look mom, what I did, see? Or he'll boast himself to his friends. If one has no friends or relatives to whom they will show their accomplishments, who they will show the accomplishments? If they had no friends or relatives. He or she wants their friends and or relatives to be proud of them. Everybody does that. Thus Arjun says that if he gets the empire by killing all those warriors to whom he will show his greatness, whom he will go and show his greatness, there's nobody he can show that I is so great, a warrior. He wanted to show Duryodhan and all those who came to fight on Duryodhan's behalf that he is the king. Arjun wanted to show. Here Arjun is giving justification as to why he does not want to fight. All of a sudden change of heart. But he forgets all those who killed in war before he became the great warrior, Maharathi. He fought with Shiva when he appeared in the form of Kirat. Shiva, Devata, fought. He was not afraid to fight him. He was always ready to fight. So why he is hesitant and his body is shaking? The reason for this we will discuss next time. Jai Shri Krishna.